I really invite you to schedule your next time off, schedule your next weekend away, and just give yourself the opportunity to grow and evolve and not have to rush to it or through it, the space for it to evolve you, not for you to evolve it. Love you. I wanted to share 2 episodes of the podcast that I have. One is called Nature Bathing, which is exactly what we're doing. And in that episode, I had taken a trip to Camp Verde, where the Verde hot springs were. And I talk about nature bathing as in bathing in nature, being completely surrounded by and saturated in nature, and it provides something completely different when doing so. It provides the opportunity that the city just doesn't, or sometimes even the country, like to get out into nature where you're really removed from civilization, offers you an opportunity to unwind first. And actually that's going to lead me straight into the episode I want to share with you, which is the 4 things I learned in my 4-day digital detox. So it was actually in the city, so it wasn't the same as nature bathing, but I like to explain the concept where when you get into silence and stillness long enough, you can start to hear the voice of spirit, the voice of God, the voice of universe, like receive downloads, because you are a clear channel to receive those types of communications. And so in the first day, a great example is yesterday, we left civilization, we drove into the mountains, but we climbed the mountain, we unpacked all of our things, we set up camp, and so it was still very noisy. There was a lot of clanking, right? You're not necessarily clear or centered or grounded at that point. And to get into nature long enough, or to get into silence and stillness long enough, I like to explain it's like leaving a concert. And when you leave a concert, your ears, they're still ringing, right? And so you're like, what'd you say? Right? Like you can't even hear your neighbor all that much. And then it starts to come down, and then it's like, whoosh, oh man, phew, there's this sense of relief in the silence. And with nature bathing, or with a digital detox, even like I said, I did that in the city, it gives you a sense of stillness, not only outside but inside, as to then receive the communications. And particularly when I'm in nature, I like to look at the surrounding mountains. And I like to, these ones are still snow-capped, but I really spend some time rotating my eyes and my mind around it, because I'm able to see which one, some of them are masculine, some of them are feminine, some of them are guardians, some of them are partners. There's just these different relationships. And then the trees and the way that they just stand at attention to hold space. And then we've seen deer, and of course there's plenty of bugs and insects, and it's quite a fascinating thing, but it's also, enlightening in the way that the noise of life just cannot afford. It cannot, we don't always have the space for what there is to hear, what there is to see, and I mean with our inner eye and our inner ear, and what our heart is saying. And we're mostly, life is just too loud. And even myself, I can stare at my screen so long in the day, even if it's for a good reason, right? I can totally justify being on client calls, or being at work, answering emails. There's a lot to do in life, and I get that, and I respect that, and it's essential to make room for you and your thoughts and the divine and inspiration. Inspiration is divine, inspire in spirit, right? And so I think it's just essential to create that opportunity for quiet. Take that time to get into nature, and take that time to get off the beaten path. And even if that's energetically meaning staying, being by yourself for a little while, there's nothing dangerous in being by yourself. And I know I grew up not being very interested in that. I loved community. I loved being surrounded. I loved being with my family, my friends, all the time, or teammates or whatever. And then I learned to like my own company in a brand new way. And it taught me a lot about myself. And I do believe it's part of evolution and maturation. And so giving yourself the opportunity, it won't exactly force its way through to you. You have to make space for it. One more thing I want to say about that is the growth and evolution, the changes that we sense aren't always welcome by us. Like, we don't want to become more something, like whatever spirit is asking of us. And so we kind of avoid it by staying busy and distracted or numb and all of those different things, giving ourselves something else to focus on. And out here, yeah, you can look at the beauty and it is something to focus on, but it's for you in a way that is just a mirror. It's just a reflection. Your thoughts have room to roam. Your soul has room to roam. And you'll hear these next pieces of your evolution coming through to you, asking to be had, asking to be experienced, asking to be developed and released and unleashed. And I want you to know that it's safe, even when it doesn't feel that way. Ooh, do you hear how silent it is? I love it. So we're at 6,000 feet. This is the Canyonlands. What point is this? What stop is this called? The Grand View, which is very apropos. I don't know if you could see me peeling from my sunburn from the mountains, but it's a good look. And this is a good look for all of us. Let's take this route. It's just so stinking cool. Pew. Straight down. I don't know how it translates to video, but like the depth perception. I don't know if I'm all the way in. Okay, there we go. Right over. So always and forever, my trips out west just make me think about the pioneers. Oh, sorry, person who made that. They're everywhere. It's so cool. But I just think about the pioneers, and we were visiting our friend Carl, and he has two wagon wheels, the covered wagon wheels, and they're just made of wood and metal. And you just think about, how did they get across this shit? I have no idea. It's fascinating. Man, y'all, we got it easy. That's all I gotta say. There's the Colorado River. So cool. Here in Boise, and it's 10 o'clock, and like the sun just went down. I'm amazed. It's, we're traveling during the beginning of summer solstice, and so days are lasting to like 9:30. Our drives take us 2 and 3 hours extra because we only go 60 miles an hour, and we're traveling the west, so it's tons of hills and such, and so time is just warped, absolutely warped. And so but actually here visiting my college friends Chris and Caitlin and their 2 kiddos, and just hanging out, throwing frisbees in the backyard, having a lot of fun. And so over this week, you saw a lot of different things, a lot of different places and people. We spent a whole weekend in the San Juan Mountains, working with clients and friends, and just doing really deep inner work, and also spending a lot of beautiful time in nature. And then we went through what I would call Moab, but really we went to Island in the Sky, which was really beautiful, trying to show you guys places that maybe you wouldn't have ever heard of or seen. And in fact, we were going to go through Moab, and that's when our friend Todd said, no, you got to go to Island in the Sky, which is just a little ways over. And so we did that, and it was really amazing, and visited my friend and client and friend Regina in Salt Lake, and just got to visit. And also it was a really cool flashback because we saw each other a year ago, and both of us have gone through a really amazing transformation since then, and now here in Boise. So we've been covering lots of ground this time. Last week was all Colorado, and now we've gone through Colorado and Utah, and now Idaho, and we are headed to Bend next week. So most of week 3's vlog will be about being in Bend, so lots of exciting times. So we'll be sharing more, learning lots, growing lots, enjoying so much fun and connection, the San Juan Mountains and nature bathing, and I stand by that. Is this whole trip is nature bathing at this point. Still recalibrating to the work schedule and balance of that, but the smelling, like getting out of the car in different areas of the country and smelling the air and feeling the air and feeling the warmth and feeling the cold and, driving to different climates. You gotta get out. That's all I gotta say for this one. So I hope you've been enjoying. Thank you. I want to say one last thing is I've already gotten tons of feedback about week one's episode. And so thanks for tuning in. And it is really great when you share and you show people and do like the commenting. Let us know what you like and what you enjoy and maybe what you'd like to see and all of that, because it's really fun to, again, participate with you in this process, not just show, right? And so, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to participate. Feel free to submit questions or things like that, because maybe we can answer them along the way and show you our world and how we're living in it and how we're walking through it. So I hope you've been enjoying the vlog. Keep sharing, keep commenting, keep participating. We'll see you real soon. Bye now.